Hello YouTube, there are 4 top meta decks right now, and this is one of them. Which deck will you be playing for the upcoming season? Stay tuned for my advice on what I think you should be playing. The upcoming ranked season starts March 11th in the morning in EU. That's in a couple of hours, and it ends March 25th. We have quite a lot of new cards this season that are going to be used in ranked matches. You have the Shen Pao and Excalibur in water, you have Bellibolt in electric, Houndstone in psychic, you have the new tools, Electric Generator and Big Air Balloon. You have the Team Star Grunt and Arven as supporters. There's also a new stadium, Mezagosa, and there's other cards worth mentioning, Meowscarada, Shiyu, Skeldurge, Annihilate, and Goldengo. So how will this meta adapt and what will change? First off, Electric got a huge buff with Bellibolt released, taking down the Suicune decks. It's a powerful card. You have the new combo Excalibur with Shen Pao and Suicune, allowing you to go first, setting up your Suicune for a quick attack, especially against Hydreigon. It is really strong. You have the old Suicune Ninja being overshadowed by this, especially because of turn 1, but also in general the deck is just stronger. The meta will be very rock, paper, scissor-ish, and I think that's good for the game because then the meta have to shift from day to day and you can find new decks to beat the meta. This is my tier list based on the data we have so far and my own personal opinion. We have in the S tier the 4 major meta decks. We have Bellibolt Zone, we have Suicune, Excalibur, Hydreigon, we have Altaria Ninja, and all of these 4 decks, I'll take a closer look later in this video. We have Absol Ninja on A tier together with Zeraora Bellibolt. We have Orizone and Altaria Gourgeist. On B tier, we have Gourgeist Houndstone, we have Shingling Altaria Ogerpon with Leafeon, and Sard with Entei. C tier, we have Lopunny Annihilate. You could put this higher up, but it's just a flip deck. I don't want to put it higher up. I don't want to see the bunny's face, so keep it down there so I don't have to look at it. And we have Meowscarada, we have Suicune Ninja. D tier, Goldengo. Yeah, I'm sorry, Goldengo. You just don't do anything. So now I will go through the game plan of the S tier decks and show my deck list of all of the decks for my tier list. So what is the game plan of Suicune Excalibur? To win the game with this deck, you need to set up your Suicune in the active to draw into your Excalibur evolution. Use Shen Pao to kill key targets, either two-shotting a Mega or securing final points after Suicune kills someone, or to finish off their Mega after Suicune damages it initially. Your best possible opening is either to go first with Suicune in the active and evolution on bench, allowing for the incredible turn to Suicune attack for as much as 120 damage. If going second, the same thing applies. Worst possible opening is starting Frigibacks in the active without any way to retreat, especially if you're going first. Even with a bad opening, this deck can get the energy back with Excalibur, which is one of the strengths, and that makes the deck really strong compared to the old Suicune Ninja deck. You do not have the Indeedee to worry about going first, resulting in a loss most of the time. So the main combo with this deck is Excalibur, pumping up your Shin Pao with energy, hitting for 130. You can also attack with Suicune with 2 energy. This deck is especially strong into Hydreigon. The meta has adapted to this deck, and it's definitely not sitting at the crown alone, since there's good counters. So the most common counter is Bellibolt with either Magnezone or Zeraora. You can also use Altaria Ninja. So next up we have Bellibolt, Magnezone. And what is our game plan here? The idea is to use Bellibolt with Magnezone. It is in fact the stage 1 Magneton that allows us to ramp up our energy so that Bellibolt can attack for 140 with only 2 energy attached. This can be incredibly strong if you get time to set up. You also have Ori to slow the game down so your opponent cannot kill you in time, and it even sometimes will carry the game on its own. So the best possible opening is to have your Tadbulb and Magnemite together with evolution, setting up for the Bellibolt attack for 140. Depending on the matchup, you have to think of which Pokemon to start with and what to attack with first and what supporters to use at the appropriate time. This makes the deck skill intensive to play and very boring when you're getting good at it. The worst possible opening is not getting your stage 1s early enough and getting overrun. So this deck is very good into Suicune, Excalibur, and also does well into Altaria Ninja, but does struggle big time into the popular dark deck Hydreigon. It also has a bad matchup into Ninja, Mega Absol, and some of the Psychic Mega Altaria versions. Not the Shingling variant though, that is a good matchup for you. And of course we have to mention the Hydreigon Poison variant. The game plan here is pretty straightforward. You just dump out your hand, play a Copycat, find your Hydreigon evolution. Although you have to be careful placing down your Mega Absol, because it can get sniped. Sometimes it's better to Copycat it away and not place it down. Remember, one more card in your deck doesn't change the odds of drawing your evolution line by a big margin. You can use your Barb in the active to reach damage breakpoint and Ice Pop to heal up your Hydreigon. You don't always need to heal your active. For example, if you have a damage Nihilego in the active and you need to heal your Hydreigon before attacking, if you retreat your Nihilego and heal with Ice Pop before you attack, the Hydreigon might have some damage breakpoint from your opponent that can kill you. So the best possible opening is going first into turn 2, Hydreigon win the game. And the worst possible opening is Mega Absol in the active, going first, making it vulnerable to attacks and Cyrus. So be sure to heal it up before you retreat it, if that happens. And if it has taken damage, it might get sniped, so make sure to heal it if you can. This deck is good against the Belly Bolt decks and also Orizone. It does lose to Suicune Baxcalibur and Altaria Ninja. It has some bad matchup into the other Altaria decks, at least most of the variants. Okay, so last but not least, we have Altaria Ninja. And what is our game plan here? The idea is to set up your Ninja as quickly as possible with Mega Altaria ready to attack for 150 plus 10 damage from training area up to 160 damage in one go. And with Cyrus, you can take out any mon on the bench if it has enough damage. Shingling stops their evolution and Pokeball and can give you some free wins as well. This deck is very fast if you hit, but it can brick, and that makes it really hard for you. But don't worry, you can use the Sing ability on Swablu for the sleep effect, which can turn any game into a win. In your favor, you can stall until you find whatever you need. The best possible opening is to have Shingling in the active while getting your Frog and Swablu on bench, ready to evolve as soon as possible. And the worst opening is going first with the Frog in the active, forcing you to lose an NG if you want to retreat it. And the combo is the good old-fashioned ninjas into Cyrus, no counterplay allowed. Disgusting, right? This deck is strong into Hydreigon and is favored into Suicune Baxcalibur. Good counters to this is Bellysone, Orizone, and Ninja Absol. So that is the top 4 decks so far this season. I'll show you some deck lists as well of the other decks in my tier list. So here are all my decks from my tier list. Just pause the screen if you want to copy it, and then we'll go on. So here are my tips for climbing in rank this season. There is still win streaks, so that favors you playing quick decks. You want to win or lose fast and get as many games in as possible. Hydreigon and Altaria Ninja are great choices for fast decks and our top meta decks right now. If you want to get fancy and take this logic and assume other people are going to play these decks, then you can counter them with Ninja Absol, which has a huge lead into Alt Ninja and a slight advantage into Hydreigon, although that matchup is pretty even. You do not want to switch deck that often. Keep trying the same deck for a while to figure out what people are playing, then adapt. You can play different deck this season because it's very rock, paper, scissors-ish. I do also recommend playing the top 4 meta decks. And most important of all, just play the deck you want to have fun with. Like that is it. So the meta is pretty set right now, and the top 4 decks are Suicune, Bax, Alt Ninja, Belly, Zone, and Hydreigon. Any of these you'll encounter in ranked, so stay away from decks that you cannot beat at least 2 of them. Some cards that might become meta in a while are the new Grunt and the Air Balloon. We don't see them being played that much, but I think they are strong cards that eventually could have play. I personally will not be playing Hydreigon or Altaria Ninja because the decks are low skill intensive and feel repetitive. I will probably play Suicune, Baxcalibur, Bellysone, and Ninja Absol the first couple of days. So what decks are you going to be playing in this ranked season? Tell me in the comment section, and what do you think about this video? If there's anything you would like me to add in the future, I appreciate the feedback. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps you learn more about the meta and what deck you're going to be playing. Have a good night, evening, morning, wherever you're from. And I hope to see you again. Much love. Take care. Hope you have a good one.